Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to talk more about existentialism. If you watched my previous video, I did explain that it's just something that I think about every day. I do my normal thing. Oh, whatever's normal in society, as you are supposed to survive, make money, and I try to make a lot of money. But then this is just always going to be in the backdrop of my mind. And yeah, I just really want to talk about it before I forget about it. And since a billion things cross my mind every single day and through the many, many years of my life, I don't think I can actually ever be able to say out loud every single thought I've ever had about life and why we're here because there's just too many. And some of them are honestly so silly. Like, I do enough embarrassing things on the internet that I feel like I shouldn't be embarrassed about saying it, but there's like some really, really crazy um thoughts that I've had about why we're here that I don't think I would even share out loud because it just sounds really dumb. But hey, we don't know why we're here. So maybe someone out there, actually, this is another thing that crossed my mind where what if the whole point of life is that there are billions of us? Who knows? Maybe one day there'll be trillions of humans and animals included. They can think about why we're all here as well. And then maybe one of us will get the answer. And maybe when one of us actually gets the answer, imagine if that like unlocks something and then we get to the next level. If it was like a game. But that's if you believe in the simulation theory, which is the one that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be honest with you guys though. I did not come up with the simulation theory at all. I've only heard of simulation theory because of like X, well, back then Twitter, and really just like the internet is the only reason. And like obviously watching movies, a lot of movies and TV shows. Like I never, even though ever since I was a kid, I thought about like, okay, why are we here? Why are we here? What's the point? Like, I think a lot of movies and TV shows also influence my mind into these ideas that I call out of my imagination of why I think we're here. But I feel like I was influenced by a lot of like Hollywood movies, TVs, and then now like with basically just any thought from anyone else on the internet. So I think when I was a kid, I never really thought about the idea of what is a point of life. And then someone now there's lots of people, not someone, there's lots of people out there that believe in this, that there it's a possibility that we could be a simulation, kind of like how humans play video games and we could be in a simulation by someone else or maybe something else. Maybe they don't even look like humans or they're aliens or a god or greater being, whatever you want to call it. But basically, there is this belief out there for, I want to say, this has to have been around for decades, right? Maybe even 100, 200 years ago. Maybe someone had an idea of it, but they stated it in a different way, right? Like back then, they didn't have like movies. Maybe it was like a play. So maybe someone would say, like, I'm just making things up. Like maybe back in the day, like 100, 200 years ago, they were watching plays. And maybe someone said, okay, well, this could be like life. What if life was a play for like the gods? And that would be the same concept, right? Like a simulation. So it honestly, maybe because AI is getting talked about more and more in 2026, well, 2025 and 2026 than ever, that the idea that we are actually, this whole thing is a simulation is crossing my mind more than the normal amount. Um, so I guess this episode is going to be more about what I think on if this life is in fact a simulation. I guess we'll just put it in the most simple term. Let's just pretend that there is someone of greater power, however you want to picture them to look like or sound like. Um, but let's just say there's a greater power and they are on their computer and they made this whole world, everything that is you and I, everything, this YouTube video, me, my thoughts, everything is created by this being who is, let's say, on their computer. Or we can only picture a computer, which is the silly part. Like, we can only picture a computer because that's what's given in this world, in this realm. If someone of a greater power is on a machine that we can only convey as a computer, it may not even be a computer. It may be like what today's computer is 1000x, right? Like, what if this is way into the future? We are in a simulation. We are a video game of this greater being that is either, and it gets so complicated because it's like, okay, could this greater being maybe just be like the future us? Could it be like 2000 or 100 million years from now into the future? They are playing a video game, which is now. Like, that's one. Or two, we are in the same time zone, but they are just a way greater being. And that's why we only know what we know. And they know a lot more. So we can't even picture it. And that is something that I think is another concept that before I thought about like simulations, I always did kind of think about like as another way of why we're here is what if, or not really, I can't really explain why we're here. One of the silly little things I think about is like, okay, what if, I don't know why we're here, but what if, kind of like how humans look at ants, and we would be like, okay, if you put like a black box over a bunch of ants, then they'll be like, oh my God, it's nighttime. They wouldn't really know what we're thinking, our thought process behind doing that. Why did we even do that? They would just be like, oh my God, it's dark. That's all they would know. So in a sense, if we are a simulation and we are a test, we can't even fathom what a greater being would want from us. We cannot even fathom. Like, if we are the ants at this level, like if humans view ants as here, and then there is a greater, way greater being, then our little thoughts, it would be so mismatched. Like, how humans even come up with like the way that I'm trying to come up with reasoning through my human little brain of why we're here and what this greater being, if there is one, these are just all like out of my imagination, right? All these little thoughts that I have, it wouldn't even be on the same level. It wouldn't even come close, because if I am at the level of like an ant is to a human, some greater being, I wouldn't even be able to begin to understand what they're thinking and why they put us here, if they in fact did put us here, and what the end all goal would be. But it's fascinating to think about. I don't know, I find it fascinating to think about. I could honestly just go on and on. If I did not have to work and I did not have to like make a living in this world, so I could eat food and just keep surviving and go to sleep, I think I would just think about this all day. I don't know if I would get bored of thinking about this, because I seem to have not gotten bored after decades of thinking about this. So maybe I just find it entertaining. Maybe like thinking about the point of life, I find entertaining, so I keep doing it. And then I do wonder, whatever creator or whatever greater being there is, are they playing this video game, aka this realm, if simulations are real, or we are a simulation in an alien's world? Are they doing it because they're bored, or are they doing it because we're so entertaining? Like, we are the best version of like Netflix, because I like Netflix and I like watching shows and movies. That is also another thing I thought about, like in terms of like why we're here. Or maybe are we here because we are the entertainment? Like, and maybe not simulation as in like they're playing a video game and they get to control everything. Because I think there's also different levels to when someone says they believe in the simulation theory, that we are a simulation, or like some kid in their basement, I guess in this godly world, or alien universe created all of us. If you believe that, then or if someone says they believe that, I think there's also different tiers to it. Like, okay, well, how much of it are they controlling, right? Are they controlling my every thought without me knowing? Or are they playing each human being as a video game? Like, are they controlling every single thought of every single human being? Or is it like masses of human being? Or maybe it's just like they're controlling this one person. Like, for example, what if a player in this, let's just call it alien world? What if there is a being or a person in the alien world, which is not our planet and our world, this universe? They are playing a game and they're each representing a soul or a person from this world. It could work like that, or it could be maybe they're just playing like one character, like me, and then everything else that I see is obstacles they create for the one person. Just kind of like in a video game, you're like one player usually, and then everything around you is a PC. Like that could also be a possibility. Or maybe it's two friends in this alien world playing against each other. And it could be like the whole world versus one player, or an entire race versus another race. Like, I don't know. The possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. Um, if I think about simulation like that. But that again is the thought process of like, okay, we're a simulation, again, controlled by others. I did have this one theory of what if I think this was inspired by Matrix, the Matrix movie, maybe. I thought one time as like a possibility of why we're all here, what if we chose it, but we chose to forget it? Kind of like you choose to be playing a video game, but you know you're playing a video game, right? But what if we are so actually in the future, kind of like in the Matrix pod, but not really like Matrix? What if all of us that are in this world right now, this world, what if we are actually from the future and we are the ones choosing to be in this game, this universe? And because we chose to be in this game, for some reason we find it super fun. I don't find it fun. Um, I mean, it is life is great. I'm very, very thankful. But to think, what if you came from the future? Like, what if I, Lucy, and you, we all belong actually in the future, and we are maybe just so bored in the future that we decided to create the simulation world, and you're still you, but you chose to like kind of delete memory, forget everything that is the future, and you're just like choosing to live in this world as a game. And that is a game. That's one of the actually I ponder on that a lot because I feel like that kind of makes sense to me. Like, what if people in the future are just that bored that they end up doing that? I don't know, and I can't say if it's like a great or horrible idea because I only see what I see. Maybe the me or the whoever in the future, whatever the future looks like, then decides because you are you in this world. And even like as I age, I feel like I see life differently than I did when I was like 10. So the way that I felt when I was 10, some parts of me, I feel like I'm the same. Like I'll still think some things are funny, you know, like from like a billion years ago. I'll still find it really, really funny. Um, no matter how many years go by. But then I do think that my view on the world changed a lot from when I'm 10 to now. Um, and maybe if a human were to actually be able to live long enough, like I'm talking 100 years, 1,000 years, then whatever I think is normal is not actually vibing with them for normal, right? Okay, anyways. So, like, that's also something that I wonder about, like, could it be that we are all kinda like and it's kinda like Ready Player One as well, that movie, But then that I kinda hope is not real, in the sense where if life in the future is so bad that people decide to put on, like, this virtual reality goggle, and then they come to this reality, or they travel through time because the future is so bad. I hope that's not the actual reality. That would suck a lot. Um, but yeah, that's one. And now going back to if someone is in control, which is what I could go on forever about this. That's why I really have to keep it, I have to keep it more contained on just simulations. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it more contained on just the thought process of if this is like a simulation. Um, if this is a simulation and someone is in control, I've thought a lot about like why are they doing it? And if again, if it's not for entertainment purposes, if it's not for entertainment purposes, sometimes I think, what if in this alien world or whoever is doing the simulation, if we are in a simulation, again, these are all just theories. Um, if someone is like, or something is so great and powerful, but they decided to make this simulation, maybe they're trying to like, maybe it's not just for entertainment, maybe it's to prove a point. So that's something I feel like makes almost more sense than entertainment. What if in this like alien world, things like hate, um, and questions like an eye for an eye, or statements like an eye for an eye, and if someone poked me, then do I poke them back? Like what is considered right? What is considered wrong? What if in this alien world, this other universe, or this, just say call it alien world. No, whether you want to think about it in the future, past, present. Basically what I mean is if you do believe in the simulation theory, just let's just pretend, let's just call it alien world, alien person. What if in the alien world, they still can't resolve a lot of these major issues that in our world we can't resolve? That's why we have war. We have so many terrible, terrible crimes that happen every single day. Um, what if in the alien world, they are still trying to figure that out and they can't? And that's why there is this world. They're trying to use us. And maybe we're not the only ones. Maybe we're just not allowed to see the other realms that's happening, kind of like a silo. Like, what if everything we know is just contained in one silo? Then there's multiple other silos, multiple other universes. This. And maybe it looks slightly different, or maybe it's exactly the same. And the alien world is just trying to resolve these major, hard to answer questions by creating all of these universes and worlds in hopes that one of these silos, aka our entire universe and everything that I'm talking about here, can resolve it. Yeah, kind of like a science experiment, but more on the scale of what is right and wrong, how to make things right. Yeah, because and why I think this is because I find our life so interesting, how the way humans are is so strange if you think about it. We could have been made, or things could have gone a different way where we can't lie to each other. We know exactly what the other person is thinking, or there is no such a thing as a lie or a fib. But that exists. It's like we don't know what the other person is thinking. And so there are liars in this world, and there's a lot of terrible things, obviously, that can go on. Humans betray each other, um, and much worse things, a lot of terrible, terrible things in the world. And it's like, why does that exist, right? And disease, and why do, like, I believe in karma, but again, and some people don't. But all these like things in our world that's just like there, I do question like the very existence of that, right? Like I question the very existence of these things that we can feel, the things that we can see, like the ability to cry, the ability to love, the ability to be kind to someone and to be bad and to be mean to someone, like all these things. I guess you could call it attributes, or if it were calling it a simulation and this is a video game of some sort, uh, I guess these are, I don't wanna say entertainment factors, um, but yeah, these are just, like, parts of this world that was created by whoever, let's say, created it, and then so I feel like there has to be, like, a deeper meaning behind that. Maybe the creators of the simulation had to put it in there because it also exists in their world, or maybe it doesn't exist in their world, and then they're putting it in to be like, "Well, how would things work out if we were like these humans, or we were like these beings that couldn't know what the other person is thinking? Um, how would that pan out?" Like, maybe the other universe, everyone knows what the other person's thinking. It could work out for the best, and it could maybe not work out for the best. I can't even imagine that future. So, yeah, that's also just something strange I think about. If you made it this far, oh my gosh. One day I'm gonna listen back to, what I just recorded right now. But there will be more of these episodes. I'm gonna put it in this playlist, I call Live Thought, which is what you should be watching under right now, and there'll be a lot more random live thoughts. But again, I just can't remember every single little thought I had about life. This is just, like, on the spot, what I remember thinking about in terms of simulations. There's a whole, I don't know which one I think about more, but this one, I feel like I was almost, it was, like, planted in my head thanks to movies and TV shows and people on the internet and X. I feel like, the simulation theory was planted in my head. I did not come up with it. I think more about, like, dreams. That was not affected by, like, other people. I feel like when I try to think about what the point of life is, and it, why I get pushed to think about what the point of life is because I always thought the way that dreams work was also, like, always really weird, and I know people are like, "Oh, it's normal because it's just your imagination," but I think things that I see in my dreams are just so strange that I feel like there has to be more to it than just being my imagination. Um, so I think that's probably what pushed me to think a lot about it, and then that's why I think a lot of why I think we're here, um, at least before the simulation theory came about in my mind, I just thought more of, like, dreams, like, it's connected to dreams. Still can't fully explain it, but yeah. I don't know how I feel about the whole simulation thing still. It's it's, like, convincing and starts to become more and more of a likely possibility whenever I'm looking at the way our world is going right now and headed towards just kind of like a future with robots, becoming a reality, and probably most people, and I'm down for it too, like having a robot in their home, and then everyone is reliant on ChatGPT. To be honest, right now, I don't feel like I'm that reliant. I'll randomly ask like a question here and there, like specifically on ChatGPT or like Grok or whatever, or on Google, AI, but I don't need it. Like, I don't feel like I'm being dependent. Maybe 10 years from now, I'll change and maybe everybody will start using it, just kind of like how in the beginning, not everyone was using social media and now everybody is. So, because we're headed so towards that future, it does make me wonder, like, wow, it's starting to just become so digital that would it be possible that all of this is actually just a simulation? And then also the question comes is, if you're playing a video game, the video game characters cannot break out of the video game, right? But what if humans do actually get close to like breaking out of this silo, or if we're actually in this thing? Like, if we're just like a software, oh, and when I say software, I don't mean like what we understand as a software in this world, but if we are just like this the way you look at, like, not even 3D, the way we look at, like, a sketch, like a drawing in this world, or just 2D art, I guess the alien world or the creator wouldn't really mind because we wouldn't really be able to break out of that. So there's one thought I have where it's just like, okay, we'll never be able to break out, so it doesn't really matter anyways. It's kind of like trying to imagine if playing Nintendo Mario Kart and then the Mario character is gonna like pop out from the screen. Not likely. Not possible. But what if it is possible and we do break out of this silo or this simulation or this test or whatever it may be? And if we do break out, we either can merge with this alien world if we're even in the same realm, which again, if we're just a video game, we are not in the same realm. It would be like imagining if Mario Kart pops out of the TV, which you wouldn't think is possible. So, but that would be cool. If I think it'd be better if we are simulation and we are actually like you could break free from it, but then the dangers of us being able to like, let's say, break free from it, kind of like ants inside a box, and then you break free. As in, like if humans are the ants inside a box, and then we humans break free by breaking the box that we didn't actually know was there in the first place. But then you see all this stuff, but then it's like, what's next? Is that why some people have theories of aliens being like hostile? And again, that's if you believe in the alien theory. Anyways, I'm gonna stop here. Leave it at that. Love to hear if you made it this far, if you understood anything I just said. I'm not really that good at explaining things. I should get better at it. I should try to improve, especially since I want to make all these videos. But if you understood what I was saying, love to hear. Love to hear in the comments if you too have thought about all this random stuff. And where do your thoughts even come from? Like, do they come from being inspired or influenced through the movies and TV shows and stuff? And then also that makes me wonder, like, okay, well, who came up with the original thought? Right? Like, can we even trace it? The first person to come up with, like, do we even have someone to give credit to for the thought of we are a simulation? Because I feel like there's so many in every single, like, different countries. They have, like, their own stories by mouth, and then they have, like, movies and all this stuff. So it's really hard to, like, pinpoint who actually started it, or it could have been the alien in the first place. Anyways, I'm gonna bounce. If you have anything to say about simulations, love to hear it. I will check my comments when I have time. I wish you a wonderful day, because at the end of the day, whatever this is, I'm still gonna make the best of it. Like, and I feel like there's just different ways to view life. Like you could see it like, okay, well, if this is all a simulation, then that's like, oh, that sucks. Like I'm in a stupid game. That's stupid. Like nothing matters. I don't actually see it like that, because whatever the point is, and I just like thinking of possible reasons as to why we're here. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna go back to my life, my world, and the fact that I know I enjoy sleep and I enjoy good food and I like to see more of this world and have more of these thoughts and expand my curiosities. So I'm whether this is a simulation or not, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna keep doing what I'm doing and wondering what I'm wondering. So I don't find it like as a negative thing. And if you're lucky enough to be here, I just want to say I hope you have a great day. And the cool thing about life is, because we don't know why we're here, it does add that little bit of spice, I think, in the sense where you just never know what's next, what could be. And life is full of possibilities. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I do believe in that. I think anything is possible. And there is like a vibe, a magic, a feel to life that I always felt that is good. Like there is some sense of beauty, good, and justice in the world. So far, so good. Bye, guys.